here's this guy who was a settler in the West Bank, near Hebron, and this is a longer clip, but he talks about how he got out of Zionism, and I think this is one of the more interesting things I've heard here as far as like humanity goes.
How I got out of Zionism. So this is obviously a much longer conversation and a much longer story. But for the sake of brevity, I'll try to tell this, as the Alter Rebbe says, the first rabbi of Chabad. I'll try to tell the long, short version of how this happened. So in 2018, when I was 20 years old, I was studying in Jerusalem in an all-male religious nationalist seminary. And obviously I grew up very Zionist. And while I was there, I started having questions about the entire population that existed beyond these walls. And as part of my program, there were individuals who were doing this interesting program where folks actually met Palestinians and heard some of their perspectives. And for me, I had heard some good things about that program, and some of the things that they were saying were interesting and appealing, so I decided to go to that program. And I remember it was a Friday before Shabbos, and I was sitting there at 9 a.m. in Jerusalem, and a Palestinian man had come to speak to us. And he was describing how he had to get up at 4:30 a.m. to make it to Jerusalem at 9 a.m. Even though he lived in Ramallah, which is only like 7 miles away. So obviously my brain goes, well, that doesn't make any sense. Surely it shouldn't take you more than 4 hours to go 7 miles. And then I listened how he proceeded to talk about the system of checkpoints, how he had to get on a separate bus, how he had to make the calculation of whether it made more sense for him to stay on the bus, knowing that if he's on the bus, he could be kicked off the bus at the checkpoint and go to the back of the line, or if it just made sense to just wait on the non-bus part of the checkpoint to get through to make sure that he got here in time, to speak to a bunch of Zionist Jews to try to convince them that Palestinians were human. So after the lecture, I went up to him, I was like, dude, this is fucked up. What is going on here? Why didn't no one tell me about this?